Greetings, folks. Today we have a very special episode of Rants and Raves. Today will be spent commemorating a very special member of the Minecraft community, Stampy Longnose. Now, Stampy is one of, if not the most influential person in all of Minecraft history. He, of course, owns the Stampy's Lovely World Let's Play series that's been going on for around 11 years at this point. Recently, this year, he has announced that he will be ending this series this November. Most of the Minecraft community grew up with this man, including me. So this can be a very impactful moment for all of Minecraft. So I thought I would take this episode of Rants and Raves to look back at some of the most infamous moments and commemorate Stampy and his legacy. So in this video, I thought we would take some time to look back at some very historical moments in Stampy history, along with telling you how he has impacted my life, and to some extent, the way I play Minecraft. Let's start at the very beginning. So here's a fun fact. These are not Stampy's original first videos. He's just gone back to revamp them by adding stuff like background music and removing some of the horrid crap he used to say and do. So we start at the very beginning, the creation of Stampy's Lovely World. One thing I like to point out is how knowledgeable Stampy is of Minecraft from the moment he steps in. Like, there are so many YouTubers that spend an eternity figuring out how to do the most basic of things, not just in Minecraft, but in gaming in general. This also applies to when updates come out. I sometimes wonder if a certain group of people have even heard of the update's name before, let alone what it contains. So, Stampy's first day is relatively basic. He goofs off trying to figure out how things work, yet also actively working to get supplies because he actually knows what happens when he doesn't. Eventually, after getting a few objects, Stampy burrows into a hill, creating his first ever house. It is a great house, housing many individuals such as Stampy and this weird gopher thing. Other than that, Stampy just spends some time talking about stuff and digging. He also experiences the consequences of inadequate lighting. Actually, now I know I think that was just a glitch in the early Xbox days, but whatever. Ironically enough, Stampy talks about how Minecraft was probably not going to be a large part of his life or channel, and it's just going to be something fun to do on the side. Do we even have to explain the irony? I honestly like how laid back this seems. Like, these days it seems like everyone's talking about, oh, if you don't have full diamond armor and a villager trading hall with a farm in the first hour, then you're an unknown sack of shit. But Stampy, he knows otherwise. Honestly, back then, Minecraft just felt a little more relaxed and free. No one to tell you what you can or cannot do. This is a topic I will talk about later on in more depth. So I'm covering these series of episodes in chronological order, so the next big event happens in episode 42, where Hit the Target begins his villain arc. So a lot has changed since the first episode. Stampy has his iconic dogs, a roof over his head, and some friends to share it with. One of these friends is Hit the Target. This man was originally one of Stampy's friends and helpers, posing as a polite gentleman, but this gentleman is a lot more cruel than he may seem. So, Stampy starts by digging a tunnel, as you do, but then some zombie dude comes and warns Stampy about Hit the Target's attack. After Stampy gathers his dogs, half of which are actually dead at this point, and some of his helpers, an epic battle ensues. This is probably the first time Stampy has ever used planned storytelling, but even at this point he had only planned out the episode's very basic plot. So after going through Adolf's maze of traps, Stampy enters his bunker just in time to see Adolf kill himself. But sadly, he also takes a very unlucky dog with him, and that dog's name is Lucky. This would just be the beginning of an entire rivalry spanning for over a decade long. I'm honestly shocked that I've never watched this episode when I was little, and only found out about its existence a few years ago. But if you want a full understanding of the Lovely World's lore, this is an amazing place to start. Not much else to say though. This episode's another banger. Many people talk about how this was the episode that got them into Stampy, although this is not the episode that got me into Stampy. Psst, the next episode I'm covering is. It's still a classic one, so the premise is that Stampy takes a flying carrot to the moon. There he follows in the footsteps of his British ancestors and colonizes the moon. He also meets some very sus looking aliens. Thankfully, they aren't imposters and peacefully follow Stampy for a while. After collecting some moon cheese, Stampy wanders back into his rocket, but he ain't alone. That's right, the aliens follow him home. Now, there is a very deep and interesting storyline following these guys that I'm not going to bother explaining in this video. Eventually, Stampy... Oh shit, that actually scared me. Eventually, Stampy arrives back at home and ends the video. Alright, this is a very special episode of Stampy for me. Not only is this the first Stampy video I've ever watched, which was like back when I was 5 years old. Not only is this the first ever Minecraft video I watched, but this is the first ever YouTube video I have ever watched. Period. The basic premise is that Stampy is building the interior of his pick-a-pet shop, while Squid is committing acts of terrorism against him. This is the first time in this video that we see Liebherr, who is, for better or worse, the most infamous of Stampy's helpers. It's a very basic episode, minus all the creeper deaths, but it holds a very special place in my heart, even resulting in the pick-a-pet shop of my own 1000 Days world. Also in this episode, Stampy picks Fluffy to be his dog, which is coincidentally my favorite of Stampy's dogs. I swear it was not from this episode. All in all, a seemingly unimportant episode for most, but monumental to me. This is a very important episode in Stampy's history. Sinking Feeling is judging by a popular tab the most infamous Stampy vs. Hit the Target episode. So the first half of the video is basically some normal Stampy shenanigans with him flying around the clouds and whatever. That is until right around the halfway mark he discovers Hit the Target's ship. Stampy rushes over to Hit the Target in the SS Stumpy in a 100% real sailing sequence, and an epic battle ensues. There's cannon fire, arrows from both sides, and tense fighting as the two sides fight for dominance. Eventually, in a moment of desperation, Stampy summons the mighty Kraken! Oh wait, it's just a squid? Oh. A very crazy squid he is though, since he jumps onto his target spot almost immediately and starts chasing him around. Eventually, Hit the Target is forced off the boat and is bombed to death. I actually vaguely remember being on a Pocket Edition server with some of my cousins, and trying to summon the Kraken whilst we were fighting. It did not work in the slightest. You lied to me, Stampy. Here's another one that I used to watch when I was little. This is, to my knowledge, Stampy's first ever Halloween special. You will notice that he is using a very special texture pack, that being the Halloween Mashup Pack. Now, this is a pretty funky texture pack made for Xbox, but has since been updated and brought to Bedrock Edition. I'm honestly really sad that they didn't make a Java version, though. So, basically, Stampy meets with some of his friends whilst trick-or-treating, such as Ballistic Missile, Khloe Kardashian, and Big Daddy Liebherr, who puts them through a scary haunted house type thing that clearly has never been inspected. Afterwards, the gang competes in a competition, so Stampy should have won this race, but right here, when he shoots the painting, it's supposed to go into the pressure plate hole, but it misses. I've been salty about that for over 9 years now. Then we get to see Googly Manor. Insert unfunny Titanic sub-reference. So I'm going to cover this very shortly, but basically it's a series of 6 episodes where Stampy builds the clock tower. Easily the tallest building in his world and also one of the largest. There is no grand hit the target fight here or anything, at least for now, but I thought I should quickly cover as it's a very important feature in Stampy's world. It's also one of the final few episodes that we see Liebherr before he's sent away in. So this is probably going to be a bit in poor taste, but here we go. So around this time, a lot of news was circulating that Liebherr did some nasty, illegal crap to some people online. I don't want to fully go into what he did, because to this day, not everything out there about this incident is 100% confirmed. But I think this video does give you a good perspective on to Squishy's, Stampy's wife's perspective as the news unraveled. But basically, this was just an episode to send Lee off once and for all. I and most people were quite saddened by his departure, but come on, he kinda deserved it. So this is just a sort of family-friendly way of Stampy booting him from this world. So, for a while leading up to this episode, a new helper known as Viva Dash had been working for Stampy. But this little Karen had actually been hit the target's bitch who got her to pretend to be nice. So Viva lures Stampy to hit the target's castle and spawns a wither. Now what's important to note is that this is not a bedrock wither. This wither is basically just like the Jabba wither. But still, Stampy can't get this thing to half health to save his wife. But that's when William Beaver comes in to save the day. Now this is Stampy's first ever scripted helper. Basically, they aren't a real person rather than a player scripted for the sake of Stampy's story. Now I believe that Stampy started implementing scripted helpers and fading out the real helpers because real people are not always good people. So Stampy uses the creatures he sees when he forgets to take his schizophrenia pills because they are fictional and can't really do no wrong. So the introduction marks an important moment in the series as Stampy does a helper shift. Please mind the gap. So, before this release, Stampy had been on a hiatus for roughly 2 years. Most people assumed the worst and that he quit making Lovely World videos altogether. As the days became months, became years, everyone thought he was done with Minecraft. But when the world needed him most, he came back! So after there's no more shenanigans, Stampy enters an odd door, which is actually a portal. Hit the Target explains that Stampy was transported into a mirror world, and the Hit the Target and Mirror Stampy is going to take over his normal world. So Stampy gets forced into a parallel universe where everything is different. His love garden is communist, US politics makes sense. He also, instead of having a reindeer, elephant, and beaver as helpers, he has a reindeer, narwhal, and a capybara. After a while, he does that thing that everyone with Keep Inventory does when they're lost. Kills his mirror version by basically negligence and saves the day. And with that, Stampy's Lovely World is now officially left the 2010s and was now entering the 2020s. So, as the name suggests, this episode will end tragically. So Stampy has planned a party for his 700th episode, but they get sidetracked by Hit the Target. Not just Target Man, though. He has with him his wife and a bunch of canines produced in Chinese sweatshops. After some back and forth, Stampy chases them to their secret base where... What the fuck? Yeah, I would be getting back up if I were you. Stampy travels to the park to use it as a sort of final stadium and waits. Eventually, in the distance, he spots the dynamic douchebags Target and Viva. They arrive at last and... What the... Is that what you see at the gates of hell? So Stampy and his 10 dogs are basically up against my dog army squared. Now these two don't count because despite their names they can hardly shoot bows properly. Okay, now I see what it was like being that war in my world. Eventually the power couple runs away because they're pussies. But sadly, 3 dogs died. One of them being my favorite. The day that this video was released was Stampy's 10-year anniversary. It's not too ambitious of an anniversary video. Frickin' Tweedledum and Tweedledee do stuff to his dogs and they die or something, I don't know. And Stampy makes a monument for the 10 years. This includes a montage of the world over the 10 years. A very charming Stampy episode, and one of the few newer ones that have broken 1 million views. So this is the final major Staples episode and was also released around the same time Stampy announced that his Lovely World will be ending this year. So he did plan on doing a tour, but if I have to type Hit the Target into my script one more time, I will snap! So basically they have been giving Stampy an aging potion. Its functionality gracefully displayed right here. But Stampy threw his balls at them, so now dogs are pissy. So now here we are. Nearly 750 episodes since Target Man began his reign of terror, and now he was defenseless. Oh, are you just gonna let them go? We have been waiting for 10 years and we are just letting them go? Oh, cool then. Stampy also found anti-aging cream that actually works, so nice, I guess. And that brings us to today. Currently, the newest Stampy Lovely World video is episode 815, and he currently predicts that the series will end in November. Obviously, this will be a very emotional time for many, including me. Now, in order to talk about Stampy's true impact on me, I have decided to hop into my own world and show you. So, folks, here's my Stampy monument. So, it's pretty basic. So, we have Stampy standing on a huge cake, and I'll skip through the cake here. There's a few things I put on this cake. It represents Stampy history. So, we got his carrots. Sorry about that. My mouse being a bit finicky. I might need to move batteries for it. But we have his carrot right here that he is sent to the moon. Then we also have these two terracotta blocks. They're supposed to represent hit the target and Viva Dash. And then we have a recreation of his Love Garden heart. So it's pretty much a perfect recreation of it. And we got the Stampy flag too. Yeah, it's about at home. I'll fly above so you guys can get a better perspective of it. Oh yeah. Here it is. The Stampy monument in all its glory. And while I'm at it, I might as well tour around a few other places around here. So, this is my main spawn island. This is where I spawned at, and this is where most of my things are. Get out of here, you bastards. So, here we got the Pick a Pet shop. So, it's basically a pretty much perfect recreation of his Pick a Pet shop. Like, and remember I told you guys, like, this is the first ever video I watched in making the interior of this place, and it's really upsetting that there's no googlies in here. Yeah. Let's Pick a Pet shop. So, one thing that I've learned from Stampy is that you don't have to go all out on your builds in Minecraft. You can just have some fun with it. Like, I see all these people on YouTube talking about how, oh, you need to do this, oh, you need to do that, you need to do this and that, And I feel like these days, Minecraft YouTube, or the Minecraft mindset is that you need to spend all your time making those complex, perfect builds. But here's the thing, you don't have to make the most complex, biggest thing you can to make it good. If you it's just like art. If you enjoy making it and you enjoy looking at it, then that's all that matters. Like, if you look around my buildings of town, like, they're not like cobblestone boxes or anything, except for maybe this. But they like don't use much detail in them. Like, and the thing is, you don't really need detail. Once again, like, you can perfectly represent anything with just a couple of blocks and walls. You know, I see all these, like, YouTube videos these days, like, people are, like, building all these complex and stuff. Like, the new generation is gonna grow up building blandness. Like, all tutorials ever show you what to do these days is make singular buildings. Like, back in the day, I grew up with building tutorials by people like Gree and like Stampy, and you can see that all of the things I learned all those years ago kind of reflect on my builds to this day. So what I'm trying to get at is that you don't need to build the biggest, most complex structure you can to build something good, regardless of what people on YouTube say. And that's something Stampy has taught me over the years. And another thing, my race course I'm racing through is that you don't have to do bland, garbage, freaking... You don't have to be building and farming and going on the grind 24/7. Minecraft's supposed to be a fun game. People focus too much today on, like, the grind, I like to call it, like, building all this stuff. And, like, they forget that Minecraft's supposed to be a fun game. So, if you're building a Minecraft world and you feel like you might want to spend a little time building something goofy, like a little racetrack or I'm not even gonna explain that, but if you want to do something goofy for a while, go right ahead. It's Minecraft. It's supposed to be fun. It's a game, and that's another thing that's Stampy's. I got it from Stampy's video. It's just take some time in your Minecraft world to have some dumb fun. So that's really all I've had to say. And the off chance that Stampy is watching this, I just like to say thank you for teaching me so much about this game and getting me into this game that I've enjoyed for like nearly a decade now. My birthday will be the 10-year anniversary of me playing Minecraft. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, Stampy, for all of this. Bye.